Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I've got an amazing video. This is going to be something that's really going to change the way I think that you look at that transition phase of play, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to coach it. So the background behind this video is it's an adaptation of a cover video, but what I've done is I've now kind of increased it to, if you've seen the previous video about the rondos and how we use kind of our different rules of our rondos, so I'm going to be using those as well. So if you haven't seen that previous video, I would encourage you to go back and take a look at how we introduce rondos. So for me, one of the most important things and where things break down is in that transition, whether it's attacking, transitioning into attack, or transition into defending. And what we know about that situation is that it's very chaotic. So we need to be able to pretty much take a snapshot of a chaotic situation where that ball could be either won by the red team or the black team. So what you'll see here is you'll see a square, and again, this is depending on the age of your players and the level of your players. You can make it bigger, smaller, doesn't really matter. And you'll have 4 goals, as you can see here. And the most important thing about those 4 goals is that they're facing out, not in. So we don't want this. Rather, we want one facing out towards the left, which you can see over here, one facing out towards the right, and same thing over here. So essentially, when we play that ball as the coach, which is how it's going to start off, just like this, what we don't want is the players that are fighting for the ball to be able to, within one touch, or if they just win this battle, to be able to score. We really want them to hold possession of the ball. So as I mentioned, the coach is going to be playing the ball over here into the middle of the square, and we want the 4 reds against the black reds to fight for this ball. Now, if you're following a lot of what Pep does, and kind of that golden generation of Barcelona, and that win the ball within 5 seconds of losing it, this is really going to apply, because what's happening here is essentially you want to maintain possession or gain possession, depending on who had that ball earlier, within 5 seconds. So let's say within 5 seconds, the black team was able to win this ball because this player was able to win that 1v1 battle. As soon as this happens, that first priority as the coach is we want to try and get into our diamond, right? I don't know if I can. So here we go. Into our diamond as fast as possible. But the problem is that most players, what they do is as soon as they win the ball, they just kind of get into that big diamond shape, and then what happens is this player is now facing 4 red players, and that's just not going to work. So what we're looking at is, can we win the ball and then find the easiest pass and really try and calm the game down? So that usually takes about 3 passes. So what we'll say is, let's say this black player wins the ball. Within 1 pass, can we look here to the furthest player, and then as that happens, can we start to get bigger? Maybe his second pass will be over here, which will allow this player to start to get bigger. And now we've started with our shape to eventually that 3rd pass. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know that we want our players on the side to support. So as soon as that happens, maybe this movement of support, which again we talked about in that last video, comes over here. So then our 3rd pass, let's say, because the pressure is a little bit on the top right side, so we maybe want to get the ball away from there. So then we'll pass that ball over here. And within 3 passes now, the idea is, can we really stretch this field as high as possible? So we've talked about kind of the attacking phase. Now let's talk about the defending phase and why this is such a good exercise for that. So let's say by the end, the ball, let's say, resonates with this player, this black player over here. The great thing about the way the nets are facing is we've created a situation where each defender is responsible for their attacking player, right? Because if this player, for example, gets lazy, then what happens is, right, with that supporting run, we've created an easy goal. So what we're looking for is individual man marking, but again, we want to stay compact, right? So you're really putting the responsibility on each player to move with their defender and make sure that they don't get beat. So it's a 1v1 over here, and then these players are constantly moving, trying to find space. So I think this is a really, really good way to introduce that transition from attack to defense or defense to attack. And what's great is that each session you can either focus on the attacking, right, and giving those rules of support and so on, or that defense, right, of compact, maybe having your body open to the ball and your defender, so we're not over here, maybe take away passing lanes. Again, whatever it is that you as a coach want to stress. So if you like this video, please throw in a like, and I'll see you at the next one.